everyone. Today I have with me author Pamela WINN, who is also known as P.S. WINN. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thanks for having me.
I was so excited to talk to you because, first of all, you've written so many books that you've self-published, okay? And I think that when I contacted you, I was like, okay, which books can we talk about? Because I can't read all 50 of these books.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot.
We chose the Parallel Adventures, and oh my gosh, what a great series of books. And if I'm right, the number 3 of that series was your 50th book, correct?
It was, yeah.
It was, and that is just amazing. So before we get into the books, I really wanted to talk about this with you because, okay, so I have 6 children. I have 4 boys and 2 girls, and then I saw you have 5 boys, right?
5 boys and 2 girls.
5 boys and 2 girls. So I'd have to add. Oh my goodness. So you know, like we know each other's lives. Okay. and I'm around the same age as you too. And I still have a 14-year-old that I'm raising. Are all your children grown?
They are, but I have 18 grandchildren, and
wow.
I just have my first great grandson.
Oh, that's awesome.
Exciting.
That's very exciting. I have 7 grandchildren, and everybody always is like, how do you have 7 grandchildren? I'm like, well, you just have to have a lot of kids, and then you get a lot of grandkids. Right?
Yes.
But it does work that way. Only 3 of my children have had them, so, I can't wait to see what the other 3 have. But mine are spread out. Are yours, like, really close together? Because mine are pretty spread out.
Mine are all over the place, yeah.
Oh, are they? Yeah, like my 2 girls are right in the middle of the boys, so it was, it was an interesting, it was interesting. So I thought that was awesome. I just saw the 5 boys, and I was like, wow. I mean, then you know what it's like. So then the next question is, like, because we know each other's lives, it's like, how did you do that? How did you set out to be like, I'm going to write 50 books in 5 years? I mean, that was the goal.
I didn't set out to do that. I set out to write
you didn't?
fun. I sat down. We had to move because my husband had bad health.
Uh-huh.
And so we moved really quick, and we almost didn't have a room for, like, my writing. I didn't have books then. I just had, like, poems and short stories and things.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally got them shoved in and moved, I said, I'm going to put these into a book. I'm going to write books and get them out there where I won't lose them. So then I wrote 1 and then 2 and 3, and the next thing I know, I'm on 50.
That is just crazy. I don't think that I've talked to anybody who's written more books than you. I really don't. I don't think so. I mean, okay, so what does it turn out to be? Like, how many books a month?
It's about a book every month and a half is what it comes out to.
Okay. Yeah, and these are not short. Yeah.
No, and I write them longhand.
And I saw that too. And somebody asked you, I had read an interview that, it was a written interview that you had given, not on YouTube. And somebody said, what do you spend your money on? And you said pencils or pens and notebook paper.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I have a notebook
crazy.
with me at all times, but yeah. But
so
my 50th book is my last book for a while because I have bad health, and I've got a bad spine, and it affects my hands.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time writing. But, I get a new dragon. I guess that's what they call the ones where you speak into and it writes.
Right.
I had one, but it quit understanding me, so I had to slay it. That's what I said. I had to slay my dragon. So
yeah.
maybe, soon I'll do it again. But 50 is enough for a while anyway, so.
And then to have not just, okay, so you write them out longhand, like that is impressive enough, but then you self-publish them also. I mean, that is just, and some of them you said you even drew the cover for.
Yes. Yeah, because I used to draw before I started writing.
That is crazy. Okay, so, and these stories are, just so everybody understands, and I hope everybody goes to Amazon and looks Pam up. Like I said, it's P.S. WINN, and it's 2 N's. And these books, I mean, the Parallel Adventures was so good. As I was reading them, whoever came in contact with me, I was like talking to them. I mean, your storytelling is so, I'm like, so I'm reading this book right now. I kept telling everybody, you know, reading this book about parallel universes, like, do you think that's true? Like, I want to live there. It was like one of those books that I could have just jumped right in. And I really considered them a YA book. Yeah, I really considered it like YA.
They're good because they could go on forever.
Right.
Because there's so many possibilities for that, you know, my never-ending stories, you know.
Yeah, and I love the two. Okay, I love the twins. Now, did you have a set of twins?
No.
Yeah,
I
didn't either.
My husband's family had twins in his family. My sister, her stepdaughter had triplets.
Ooh.
So I thought that was really cool.
That is really cool.
And I wrote them into a story too, but not in the parallel. They're in a different one.
Well, I
thought that I was fascinated by triplets.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And these twins. Okay, what I love is that they're born under the Gemini sign, which is twins.
Right.
You know, so that's really cool. But I love their storyline that, you know, they just go exploring into this cave and they find a parallel universe. Well, not just one, but, you know, it goes on of how many different ones. And then the thread of all three. So the first book is called Into the Cave. So they just find they find the cave and they find the dog portal, which is cute too. I love that. See, I love when authors do that with names. So I really enjoyed that. And then so book 2 is called Secrets Revealed, and we find out way more about the parallel universes and their family and everything. And then book number 3, Strange Happenings, they're now, you know, graduating, they're older, and then they decide they're going to do it again, and they go back. And I love that it kind of moves with them that's how you say, like, it can keep going because there's no end to the two of them, you know?
Right. And on the third book, I was trying to show, like, you know, they're still kids, but they're also supposed to be adults, and it's hard to do that, to, you know, transfer over into adulthood. So they're kind of still relying on the other adults, but they're also trying to be grown-ups, you know.
Right. And then, so, yeah, and the main theme through all these books is good versus evil, okay? And I was like, I love that. I loved how you wove that into each story, you know, which is, you know, I was thinking about it today, and I'm like, well, you know, most stories are good versus evil when it comes to thriller stories, but yours was really about that. I mean, it was very obvious. It wasn't an underlying theme. It was a very obvious theme to that. Did you keep that in all? I was wondering if you kept that, like, story kind of in all your books, or was it just the trilogy?
No, I do that in a lot of my books.
You do? Okay.
Like good versus evil. I do. Good usually wins.
Yeah, that's good. So, okay, so you're writing these by longhand. Are you outlining before you start writing, or do you just sit down and it just flows out of you?
I just sit down and write. The only outline I do is what my characters look like, you know?
Okay,
so I can kind of keep that in my head, what they look like, and then I just from this, it just seems like when my pen hits the paper, that's it. That's all I need to do. And it just flows. So that's always good.
Yeah, that's always good.
I know. I've had a lot of people say, what do you do for writer's block? And I'm just like, what's writer's block?
Wow.
Books, you know, I wouldn't know.
Right. Well, you know, what I think is so impressive. First of all, I love people that can write like that because it does just flow through them. You know, the story, instead of knowing exactly where it's going to take, you just write it and you don't know. You figure it out as you write. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, almost always. Sometimes I don't even know the ending till almost the ending. And then it will come to me, oh, that's what happens? But I do talk to my characters, and they tell me, you know, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I have a book that's called Tunnels it's also parallel, but it's over 600 pages because the characters changed the ending on me. because I had no idea that's where it was going until I was just standing one day thinking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing? So
wow.
take over.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your self-publishing, because that's such an interesting topic in today's world. I mean, writers can just write and publish them themselves. They don't have to wait for an editor to come along or a publisher to come along. And did you send them out to be edited, or did you edit them yourself as you were going through them?
I do it all myself. The editing I do it on the computer after I finish typing. But then I have to get the book. I go through CreateSpace, and they send me my book. And then I have to hold it in my hand to read it for the final edit, because I lose a connection or something when I'm, just reading it on the computer. But when I'm holding that book in my hot little hands, then it makes more sense to me and it works better,
Wow.
Really nice. I mean, I'm really impressed with the CreateSpace. They also sell your paperbacks, and they send you the book so you can, do whatever, and they have a really good quality. They really do a good job. I really like them. And
so
they
when you
with
go ahead,
Amazon also.
Oh, they do. Okay,
right
that was
there.
my question. Yeah, so when you edit them, I mean, they send you a physical copy, you edit them, and then how do you get the changes? You send it back?
After you get the physical copy, you don't do a finished product. They will send you what you've done, and then you have the book, and then you can go through it and edit it, and then you go back into their website and just do whatever changes you feel like.
Wow.
And then they will make new books if you.
So then when you say, well, I'm done, then they hook up with Amazon and
Barnes & Noble.
And Barnes & Noble.
Yes,
yeah, I'd heard of CreateSpace. I just didn't know how it worked. I didn't understand how it worked. So there's very little that you have to do with Amazon then. There's very little you have to do.
You can do it yourself through Amazon, and they will connect you right after you finish your book at CreateSpace. They will send you to Kindle Direct Publishing, and then you can either adjust your book there or go with the CreateSpace one, because you might want to, tweak your cover or something.
Right.
And you do that then. So both ways.
Oh, well, I know this.
The ebook, you could go through Amazon, I guess, but now they do paperbacks too, but I haven't tried that, so I don't know how good or not theirs are.
Right. And so then you're definite, so when it goes through Amazon, that you don't have physical copies from Amazon? Is it just going through their Kindle services?
Yeah, the Amazon just goes through that.
Okay. Interesting. Well, the thing that's awesome about it is that writers like you can just write. Okay? Like, you don't even have to worry about, I know writers that'll wait a year for a book to come out from their publisher.
Yeah. Well, and for me, like I had talked to a couple different agents and stuff before I even got this going, and they were like, well, in 4 to 6 weeks we'll get back with you, and I'll have a book done in 4 to 6 weeks. I don't need you, So.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it just doesn't work for writers like you, because you just want to write. I mean, that's what, and you're fast, and, you don't need to wait a year for a book to come out.
And I've talked to people that have publishers that say they have to do their own promotion anyway. So that's the worst part, is the promotion to me.
Yes.
But if you have to do it anyway with a publisher, then why waste all your time? If you're going to do it anyway,
Right.
Why not do it for yourself?
Yeah, I agree with you. I am not good at the marketing. A lot of people say to me, you have so much content, but you don't market well. I'm like, I don't like to market. So
because you feel like you're begging somebody to buy your book.
Yeah, I'm not good at marketing. I like to just put it up there, and like I shared with you, I put it on my social media, and that's fine. Like, I'll do that. That's pretty easy. And then after that, I let them live their own life. My videos, and I'm sure you do with your books too. It's like they have a life of their own, and they'll find who they're supposed to find, right?
Well, and the big thing is the people that read them and review them, they do a lot of your work for you.
Yes. And you got
They're
excellent
wonderful.
reviews. Yes, you have
They're
excellent
awesome.
reviews on Amazon. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was going through it. I'm like, wow, for the little, marketing that you said you do, I mean, you've got a following, you've got a fan base. So that's amazing.
Which is nice, and they're wonderful. Because if they read one book, they're more than likely to go pick up another one. And I'm just so thankful to those people. They're just wonderful.
Yeah, I could read another one of the parallel adventures. So anytime you want to read another one,
yeah,
they're just such a fast read too. I found myself reading them so fast because they have a pace to them. Your writing has such a fast pace to it, and I love.
What I liked about them is that a lot of adults that I said, "Oh, would you, read my book, get my book," and the adults that got it liked it as much as the young adults and the kids.
Right.
Which is really nice that they did,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really finding that YA books, I read a lot of YA books, and I always tell authors, like, more and more adults will go into the YA section, of Amazon or the store or, because their stories are sometimes better than, reading an extended book that is going to take me forever and, not have the pace. YA books seem to have a pace about them, and your writing definitely has a fast pace to it. It's not like, you build up for 50 pages and then, like you go right to it. It's not much of a build up at all.
I don't like to read a book where it is too slow,
right.
And too flowery, A lot of times when I write, I notice that if you don't put in so much explanation of, what the place looks like or stuff, it's better for, I know me when I'm reading, because I can use my imagination.
Exactly.
I think that's what makes the books is the reader's great imaginations. They are wonderful,
Yeah, that's what I found, like with the cave, I found myself envisioning my own cave of what it looked like.
Right. And that's what I think you should do. I know somebody just did a review on my book. It's called Unveilings, where somebody crosses over into heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to explain it so much because, well, I never been there, first of all. But anyway, the reviewer said that she loved that because then her imagination went wild,
Exactly.
So I thought that was really neat. And, I get that with a lot of so many nice reviewers.
Yes, and I'm so happy that I found you, Pam. I really am. I'm so thrilled that I got to read these 3 books and, to get your... Oh, I love them. And just because I love finding authors like you to get out there to promote because, like you said, you don't do much of that. And it's like I love finding this golden nugget. And I'm like, look, read these great books. Please read them, and share them and read them. I do a lot of homeschooling. I homeschooled my children. So there are a lot of homeschooling.
Mine. I homeschooled.
Did you? Yeah, and so it's like us homeschooling moms are always looking for good books, and this stirs the children's imaginations, and I think they're great, for their own activity of reading. When I give them their reading time, I think they're great books for them, and they're wholesome, and they're, like you said, good, mostly wins, and they're fantastic books. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and I'll have all of your links underneath this video for anybody to find you, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon. If you let me know, you know where to find me if you decide to write more.
Okay, I will.
Okay, thank you so much,
right.
Ken. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.